مشاهدينا في كل مكان، بيسعدنا ان يكون في ضيافتنا اليوم القائم بالاعمال بسفاره ليبيريا سعاده السفيره ماريان اف كوبي.
ليبيريا تعرف رسميا بجمهورية ليبيريا، وأصل تسمية البلاد بليبيريا مستمد من كلمة ليبرتي والتي تعني الحرية. تنقسم ليبيريا إلى 15 مقاطعة، والتي تنقسم بدورها إلى ضواحي والتي تنقسم إلى عشائر. أقدم هذه المحافظات هي باسا الكبرى ومونتسيرادو، اللتان تأسستا في عام 1839 قبل استقلال ليبيريا. جوبار بولو هي أحدث محافظة وانشأت في عام 2001، ونيمبا أكبرها حجما 11551 كيلومترا مربعا، في حين مونتسرادو هي أصغرها 1909 كيلومترا مربعا. مونتسرادو هي أيضا المحافظة الأكثر سكانا، 1,144,806 نسمة وفقا لتعداد 2008. أما مونوروفيا هي عاصمة ليبيريا، وسميت مونوروفيا باسم الرئيس الأمريكي جيمس مونرو. بلغ عدد سكان تجمعها الحضري 1,10,970 نسمة في عام 2008، وبها 29% من مجموع سكان ليبيريا، وتقع على ساحل المحيط الأطلسي في مصب نهر السانت بول، وبها ميناء حديث ومتطور، وهي مركز البلاد التعليمي والثقافي، وبها جامعة ليبيريا وهي المركز المالي للبلاد، ويقع فيها البنك المركزي لليبيريا. تقع ليبيريا في غرب القارة، يحضها المحيط الأطلسي من جهة الجنوب الغربي، ومن الغرب تحدها دولة سيراليون وغينيا شمالا، ومن الشرق دولة كوت ديفوار.
At the beginning, I would like to know more about your diplomatic stations before coming here to Cairo. So can you please tell us more about your diplomatic, let's say, journey before coming here?
My diplomatic journey started at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Liberia, where I started as a cadet and went through the ranks and file of becoming Deputy Director of Passport, and I was posted to the UK at our embassy in the UK. And after several years, I went back to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and then I came back. I was assigned to Egypt in 2023. September, I came in September. So I have been in Egypt since 2023, September, as the Charge d'Affaires, heading the Liberian embassy here in Egypt.
And so far, how's your experience here in Egypt since you came here representing Liberia?
I would say very wonderful, because from past experience and going to visit different countries because of where I work at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, going on missions, other missions, maybe short term. Egypt is a diverse country, very big, wonderful, historic, and interacting with the locals, interacting with the diplomatic corps, interacting with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It's just a whole different game, I would say, in terms of culture, meeting different people with different background. That has opened and broadened my horizon on cultural understanding in Egypt especially.
Your Excellency, what can you tell us, or how can you, let's say, describe to us the beautiful nature of Liberia?
Liberia is a very, very wonderful place. It's a green land, I would say. We have a lot of natural resources in Liberia. We have vast forests. Liberia has one of the world's most species of birds. We have a lot of tourism sites which is underdeveloped due to the war and other infrastructure reasons. But Liberia is a place that anyone that visits Liberia will always want to go there, because the natural places, the beaches, we have the mountains, where we have some hotels that you can go and see and stand and enjoy nature. So it's a very beautiful place that you have fresh air. The air there is clean. because of the nature of forests that we have.
And talking about the forest, does it affect or have a print in the industry or the economy of the country?
Yes, because timber is one of our major export. So we use the forest for timber. But like I said, our tourism sector is underdeveloped. So much is not seen in the forest. But if you go down to some of our counties, we call them, you'll be surprised to see natural nature that you don't have to invest in much, but they are there. Yeah.
This takes me to another question. What is the most popular tourist destination in Liberia?
Well, lately we have several coming up, and I will keep saying that our tourism sector is untapped. They are there, but because it is untapped, so you will not really have a visible hands-on, with it. But gradually, we are trying to open those places up. You have the Sapo National Park. There you see a lot of animals, different species. Back there, you go to Nimba. We have the Eco Lodge, a place way up the mountain, and you look down the valley. So we are trying to come out to the world that Liberia is a small country, but if our tourism sector is open, I believe that everyone in the world will want to visit Liberia because it's just natural. You only need to add just little touches to bring it to fulfillment. You don't need much work.
That's great. And this leads me to talk about the Liberian people. For sure, people who raised up in such a beauty and nature like Your Excellency just described to us, for sure they have certain customs and traditions they inherited from generation to the other. So can Your Excellency please tell us more about this great people of Liberia?
First of all, I would say Liberian people are very wonderful, warm, friendly people. And we have a diverse culture. Because of the free slave, Liberia was the country where free slaves were sent. So you have, and those free slaves, I usually say like between 15 to 20,000 free slaves were sent, African slaves. And the slaves were from different countries, and they were sent to Liberia. So there were indigenous Liberians that were already there, and this slaves came with their own adaptation because some of them were born in America, some of them grew up there, and they sent them there. So they came with their own culture, their own custom to come. And
there's a big diverse like this in the society.
So that's why our culture is very diverse. It's a mixture of American, Caribbean, stuff like that. If you notice that the Liberian free slaves, some were from Mali, like most of the African countries. So, which means we have a unique culture of a little bit of everything and very unique that make us a little bit different when you go down to West Africa. The way we speak, the way we coordinate, you will notice that we are a bit different from the other West African countries.
تبلغ مساحة ليبيريا حوالي 111,369 كيلومتر مربعا وفقا لإحصائيات ويكيبيديا، وهي بذلك تحتل المرتبة 39 بين دول أفريقيا. اللغة الإنجليزية هي اللغة الرسمية، في حين يتم التحدث بأكثر من 30 لغة من لغات السكان الأصليين داخل البلاد. تعرف العملة الرسمية في ليبيريا باسم الدولار الليبيري، وهو يعادل 0.7، يقع في مقاطعة سينوا، وهو أهم منتزه في ليبيريا، ويضم أعدادا من أنواع الحيوانات المختلفة مثل خنازير الغابة العملاقة وطائر التوراكو ونمور وغيرها من الحيوانات والطيور. مدينة بوشنان سبب تسميتها أول حاكم لليبيريا توماس بوشنان، وهو ابن عم الرئيس الأمريكي، وتشتهر بكونها المكان الذي دارت فيه المعارك أثناء الحرب الأهلية في ليبيريا. مقاطعة نيمبا واحدة من أهم الأماكن السياحية التي يقصدها السياح في ليبيريا، تتميز بالعديد من مناجم الحديد الخام بالإضافة إلى العديد من المنازل القديمة التي ترجع إلى القرن التاسع عشر. تتمتع ليبيريا بمناخ استوائي حار مع هطول غزير للأمطار خلال مواسم الأمطار بين مايو وأكتوبر، ورياح حارمة قاسية في بقية العام. بلغ عدد سكان ليبيريا وفقا لإحصائيات عام 2017 حوالي 4,289,520 نسمة، وتحتل الترتيب 125 بين دول العالم من حيث السكان.
What can you tell us about the role of women in Liberia, with all of this diversity you have been telling us about?
Well, the role of women is still pushing, fighting, trying to reach to the top, like trying to be seen. And unfortunately for us, we was fortunate to have the first female
president
in Africa.
In Africa, yes.
And then in Liberia, which was a boost for the women of Liberia to know that we can do more. So right now, when it comes to representation with the parliament or let's say with the legislature, I think women just a little bit, 11%, which is good because before it was not like that. But for now, like 11%, I think we are growing, we are moving forward. And when it comes to initiating most of the things that is happening in Liberia, for instance, our peace, it was women who stood under the sun, women who, like, I won't sleep, like they tell themselves, older women, I won't sleep until peace comes to this country. So that was significant for Liberia, that the women could stand and the voice were heard, and people, were sent to Liberia to help us during the time of the war.
Your Excellency, what can you tell us about, let's say, the wealth, the natural wealth of Liberia?
Our resources more is in gold, diamond, iron ore, timber, and agriculture is our main source of income. But due to lack of, I would say, industrial, maybe equipment, so it's kind of limited in so many ways, especially lack of good maintenance of rural infrastructure. So that has been a little bit of problem because the road to market is an issue. For example, a woman in the rural area making her farm, maybe with vegetables, she cannot, a huge farm, but she cannot sell or bring it to the urban area due to the condition of the roads. So sometimes they end up getting spoiled, and maybe the family end up eating, So that would be a problem because she will not be able to get money to be able to cater to her or their family.
Yes.
So that's the negative side of some of the issues we are faced with.
And if we talked already about the food, so I want to know a little bit more about the most popular dishes in Liberia, in Liberian cuisine.
Our staple food is rice, and we have one of our food we call dry rice, which is eaten by most people like every day, but on Saturdays, every household will tell you, ask someone, what are you preparing today? They'll tell you dry rice. And that dry rice is made of fried fish, it's made of some spice. The rice is cooked with so many things. Yeah, different sardines, sausage, egg, and everything. And we eat it with palm oil or maybe kernel oil. That's just one of our Liberian delicacy that everyone, a little child you ask. Or fufu and like pepper soup. And our pepper soup is like mix of everything. Seafood, meat, chicken in one pot. So you can imagine how that is, or how that would be for anyone to eat. So, but we have other sauces like cassava leaf, which some soup, I would say, is distinct to certain part of Liberia. Like the cassava leaf, we have certain, counties that we know them for that. So there are certain food, by the time you call the name, they'll say, okay, these are the people that love this food. So that's how distinct our cuisine, is.
Your Excellency, can you tell us more about the handcrafts that distinguishes the Liberian society?
Yes, we do. We call it African bag. African slipper is made out of, sometimes made out of animal skin. And then the young ladies do the beads, and they do slippers, and they do bag. We really don't have a huge outstanding market for that in Liberia as I speak, but most of the young people are going into art and craft to be able to exploit the market.
But you have the, let's say, a strategy to export it, right? This handcrafts industries that you're making it.
No, we are not doing export.
No.
No.
Just,
because they are just doing
inside.
it in small quantities, like, not in very huge quantities. So they are not doing export, maybe, because where Liberia is situated between the countries that surround us, so women there will come and buy from, or business people will come and buy from Liberia, they go to their country to buy, so in between there, you will find some of the made in Liberia things, craft right there, yeah.
Okay, and what about the music? We know that Liberia, she has a nice heritage in music, in African music especially. So what can you tell us about this?
Yes, like I said, where Liberia is situated and our diversity has given us an edge, on music. We are trying, our young people are doing so much, like they are doing their best to make sure to be out there, to be able to showcase Liberian music in times of showing to the world that Liberia can do something better. In terms of traditional music, we have it, but it's not really on the market like that. You'll find it more when you go to the rural area. You know, you find the traditional people celebrating and doing their own stuff. For the hip-hop music, music, you will find out that our young people are collaborating with countries like Nigeria and even trying to go to the USA to see how best they can collaborate to make sure Liberian music is out there. Because our music always send a message, like we believe in the family thing, the storytelling. Even the traditional music, when you listen to it, is more of storytelling, community involvement, something like that.
In the field of economy, we know that Liberia is one of the largest rubber plantation countries in Africa. So how does this affect the economy of the country?
It add value, I would say, add value to the economy as we
big
have
value.
Very huge value to the economy. It's one of our largest exports. We have the Firestone plantation, which has been in Liberia for, I think, almost or more, if I'm not too sure, but the figure 95 years, you know. But there are other little plantation, rubber plantation individuals, you know, coming out rubber plantation. As you know, you can't go wrong with rubber. Rubber is something that the world needs. So the rubber plantation has helped, you know, economic growth in terms of employment, in terms of other aspects, boosting the economy in so many ways.
Your Excellency, I would like to tell you thank you so much for all this information you shared with us, and please let's have another episode and talk about the relation between Egypt and Liberia. But for so far, thank you so much for the episode of today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
مشاهدينا في كل مكان، وبكده انتهى لقائنا مع سعادة القائم بأعمال سفارة ليبيريا ماريان اف كوبي، وإن شاء الله هيكون في معانا لقاء آخر هنستكمل من خلاله الحوار والحديث عن العلاقات ما بين مصر وليبيريا. شكرا لمتابعتكم لينا وإلى اللقاء.